Hi, and welcome to the Successful Franchisee's Beautiful View. Today's episode, I'll take you through the 7-step process that has worked well for me on making decisions confidently and with impact. There's a sub-process involved to figure out what is important for you to decide. And then at the end, I'll give you a plan on how you can get started practicing this skill. My name's Luke Fry, and I owned an Image First healthcare laundry franchise for 20 years. After those 20 years, I sold my stake in the franchise back to the franchisor. Half of my team was with me for 15 plus years. And during that time, I was able to be a paid and volunteer firefighter. In 11 of those years, I was fire chief of Terrace Park Fire Department. One of my biggest accomplishments was nobody was ever seriously injured in training or on an emergency scene. This podcast is dedicated to help franchisees develop their professional executive skills. It answers the question, why are some franchisees successful and others are not, even in the same system with the same operating manuals? This podcast will focus on your ability and help you gain the knowledge to practice and make informed decisions confidently and with conviction. This builds your personal and your team confidence in you. And the only time we'll look back and talk about past decisions is to review them with an intent to learn and how to improve and move forward. And today we're discussing the 7 steps required to make confident decisions on a regular basis. Now, before we get to those steps, let's figure out a bit. Let me tell you about the process I use to figure out what decisions are even important to begin with. And there's basically 4 types of decisions. There are the important ones. Some are urgent. Some have a longer lasting impact. There are decisions of convenience to save time, save money. There are routine decisions, basically call those habits. Don't even think about those very much. And unimportant decisions, like, do I have a banana or a pear for breakfast this morning? We're going to focus on the important decisions. And the way I determine that is basically some decisions are given to us by law. Others are just out of common courtesy, like calling 911 for help when you see a neighbor in distress. But I have a 4-part process for determining what decisions are important. Does making this decision have a long-term effect? What's the impact, short-term and long-term, of this decision? I like to ask, what are the effects of doing nothing? What if we let everything lie? What does it look like after that? How does a decision move us forward instead of looking back? And then if you have options, A, B, or C, I like to do a cost benefit of each one of them and see which one has the most impact. The 7 steps I have for intentionally making sound decisions on a regular basis. Always know what the context of the decision you're about to make. Is it long-term impact, short-term impact? Number 2, who needs to be involved? Who is involved? How does this decision impact their lives, their workplace? Next, I look at what type of information do I need? Do I need data that will take some time to collect? What are the predicted outcomes? And I also assign a percentage of the likelihood of that outcome to help me sort through in my mind which decision, if there are options, would be the best decision. Also, look at the unintended consequences of your decision. And I understand unintended consequences are, by definition, not seen. But do a quick analysis and just try and figure out what the effect will have, and if there are any unintended consequences. For instance, the government stimulus money helps a lot, keeps families floating. But when $1.7 trillion of unearned money flow into the economy, there's more money, but it has less value at the time, and inflation happens quickly. Once you have all that information, you've sorted it through in your mind or on a piece of paper or Excel spreadsheet, make your decision. If you're an executive group, or if you have 2 or 3 advisors in the top of your franchise that are helping you, consensus isn't always necessary in order to make a very good decision. Without proper communication, whatever decision you make has failed from the start. Decisions can also go astray from faulty implementation. No details provided, little measurement specifics. After you've made your decision, what actually happened? What were the outcomes? And then debrief with your team. If you have a team that helps you make decisions, debrief with them. What succeeded? What didn't? How can you improve your decision-making process going forward if the decision didn't turn out well? What was learned during the whole process that you can take going forward and make better decisions more confidently? And then at the very end, once you've made your decision and you've done the debrief and the analysis on how to improve, let it go. The past is the past. You can't go back and change it. All you can do is improve and move forward. Now I'll give you a little exercise on how you can take this process and start to practice and fit it to your style. Take 3 of your last major important decisions. Just write them down on a piece of paper and go through the process that I laid out for you, that I use to make good decisions, and dig deep into it. What would you have changed? Was there an alternative outcome that may have changed because of going through the process? And then redesign it so it fits your style. Thank you for watching this episode of the Successful Franchisee's Beautiful View. And if you learned anything today or have any comments, please leave them so I can read them. If you enjoyed it and learned things from me today, subscribe, and I'll be updating fairly regularly. So subscribe, and I'll help you learn how to be a professional executive in a small business in your franchise. Thank you again. And as always, stay safe and win every day.